Some cities are not built, they are remembered. Colosseum, where time learned how to endure. The Colosseum rises from the heart of Rome like a memory that refused to disappear. Its arches stand open to the sky, worn not by decay, but by centuries of human presence. Every stone carries the echo of footsteps, voices and lives that once filled this space with intensity. Standing before it, you sense that history here is not distant. It is immediate, heavy, and profoundly human. Time moves differently around the Colosseum. The noise of the city softens, as if Rome itself lowers its voice in respect. Light enters through broken walls, tracing shadows that shift slowly across the ground. What remains is not the spectacle of the past, but its weight. The Colosseum teaches that endurance is not about remaining untouched, but about standing even after being transformed. Roman Forum, the ground where voices still gather. The Roman Forum unfolds like an open book written in stone. Columns rise incomplete, streets end abruptly, and yet everything feels whole. This was not a place built for silence, but for gathering. Here, words once shaped destinies, decisions echoed across marble, and everyday life moved alongside power without ceremony. Walking through the Forum feels less like visiting ruins and more like stepping into a conversation that never truly ended. Light moves gently across broken temples and worn pathways, revealing layers rather than loss. The Forum teaches that history does not disappear when structures fall. It remains in the ground, in the alignment of streets, in the way the air seems heavier with memory. Rome speaks softly here, not to impress, but to remind us that civilizations are not remembered for their perfection, but for the human voices they allowed to rise. Pantheon, a circle open to the infinite. The Pantheon stands with a calm that feels almost impossible. From the outside, it gives little away. But inside, space opens in a way that shifts perception itself. The dome rises in perfect balance, not pressing down but lifting the gaze upward. Light enters through the oculus like a living presence, moving slowly across stone and silence. Here, architecture does not impose, it invites. It teaches that harmony is not excess, but proportion held with care. As the hours pass, the light draws quiet paths along the floor and walls, marking time without urgency. Rain may fall through the open sky, touching the ground as gently as thought. In this place, centuries collapse into a single moment of awareness. The Pantheon reminds us that the most enduring structures are not those that dominate the world, but those that make space for it. Rome does not speak loudly here. It simply allows the infinite to be felt. St. Peter's Basilica, where silence becomes devotion. St. Peter's Basilica opens itself not through grandeur alone, but through stillness. The vastness of its interior does not overwhelm. It settles. Light pours gently across marble floors and soaring columns, revealing a space shaped as much by belief as by stone. Every detail seems measured, intentional, as if the building were guiding the visitor toward a quieter way of seeing. Here, devotion is not demanded. It is invited. As you move deeper inside, sound softens and footsteps slow. The basilica holds centuries of prayer without weight, allowing reflection to rise naturally. Statues and altars stand not as displays, but as pauses in motion, moments where the gaze can rest. In this space, Rome reveals a different strength. Not the power of empire, but the endurance of faith shaped through patience, humility, and time. Vatican City, a world held within quiet borders. Vatican City exists as a pause inside Rome. Crossing into it feels less like entering another place and more like stepping into a different rhythm of time. Its courtyards and halls carry an atmosphere of restraint and contemplation, where movement slows and attention deepens. Here, power does not announce itself loudly. It settles into ritual, into careful gestures, into spaces designed to hold thought rather than noise. Walking through its paths, you sense how belief has shaped not only buildings, but behavior itself. The walls do not separate. They protect a silence that has been cultivated for centuries. Art, architecture, and devotion coexist without competition, each reinforcing the other. Vatican City reminds us that some of the most influential places in the world are not defined by size, but by the depth of stillness they preserve. Trevi Fountain. A wish suspended in motion. The Trevi Fountain reveals itself suddenly, as if Rome decided to speak through water. Stone and motion meet in a constant conversation, where the sound of falling water softens the surrounding streets. Faces gather not in haste, but in quiet anticipation, drawn by the same impulse to pause. Here, the city feels playful without losing depth, reminding us that wonder does not belong only to silence. Coins arc through the air and disappear beneath the surface, small gestures carrying private hopes. The fountain does not promise answers. It accepts intentions. Water flows endlessly, never repeating itself, yet always familiar. In this place, Rome shows another side of endurance, one that moves, glimmers, and invites belief without demanding certainty. The Trevi Fountain teaches that even fleeting moments can hold meaning when we allow ourselves to trust them. Piazza Navona, where life gathers in open air. Piazza Navona opens like a stage without curtains. The space breathes with movement, voices, and the gentle rhythm of everyday life unfolding in the open. Fountains anchor the square, their water offering a soft counterpoint to footsteps and conversation. Here, Rome feels social rather than solemn, a place where history steps aside just enough to let the present speak. Painters, musicians, and passers-by share the same ground, each adding a layer to the living scene. As the light shifts, the square transforms without effort. Afternoon warmth gives way to evening glow, and the air fills with a relaxed expectancy. People linger longer than planned, drawn by the simple pleasure of being part of something shared. Piazza Navona teaches that endurance is not only found in stone and silence, but also in continuity, in the daily act of gathering, observing, and remaining present together. At the Spanish Steps, movement feels gentle, almost ceremonial. People sit, pause, observe, letting the city pass in layers rather than lines. Nearby, Piazza di Spagna holds the same rhythm, a place where fashion, conversation, and everyday life blend into something effortlessly Roman. The space feels alive without urgency, shaped by presence rather than purpose. Campo de Fiori carries a different energy. Mornings arrive with voices and color, stalls filling the square with scent and texture. As the day fades, the atmosphere shifts, becoming intimate, informal, human. Life here does not perform, it simply unfolds. Trastevere reveals Rome at its most personal. Narrow streets glow softly at dusk, and conversations spill from doorways into the open air. There is warmth in the disorder, a feeling that time bends slightly to accommodate long dinners and shared silence. Castel Sant'Angelo stands nearby, watching the city from its quiet rise above the river. Its presence feels protective, measured, shaped by centuries of transition. Beyond it, the Via Appia stretches outward, ancient stones carrying the memory of countless departures and returns. At the Baths of Caracalla, space opens again. Ruins stand vast and exposed, inviting light and wind to pass freely. What remains is not absence, but scale. Rome reminds us here that even what has fallen can still hold form, meaning, and breath. Rome remains not as a place left behind, but as a presence that continues to walk beside you. Some cities do not ask to be remembered, they simply stay. If this journey revealed something ancient and quiet within you, let it carry forward. Subscribe and walk the next chapter with us.